Hi everyone, welcome back to Gillian at Mystic Healing Therapies. So today I'm going to talk about crystals. So we all love our crystals, don't we? Yeah, we all love our crystals, and I don't claim to be an expert at all on crystals. So, you know, there'll be people that know far more about them in terms of what each one does than I do. But I'm just going to share with you my take on crystals. So I've linked below a video here of a TikTok video that shows that crystals are starting to emerge from the ground. Great big clumps of quartz have been just manifesting out of the ground. And a friend on the Mystic Healing community sent me a video saying, "What do you make of this, Gillian? You know, that video." Well, what I make of it is that as the frequencies of the planet are getting higher and higher, which they are daily, then these quartz hold high frequencies, keys, codes and messages, and I think that they're coming forth now. They are able to surface, you know, things are surfacing now, aren't they? You know, the truth, the vibration, it's all about frequency. So these frequencies that the crystals hold are now surfacing. Now I think that's really exciting. Now we know, don't we, that, you know, silicon chips, and when I was younger we had watches that had quartz in it. Now quartz is a very, very useful thing in terms of technology. So, you know, in ancient Atlantis, the quartz crystals were used as giant computers. They are massive, massive storers of energy, energetic patterns, keys and codes, and they can hold direct wisdom. Now, I've talked before about how we can program crystals, haven't I? You know, if you get a new crystal from a crystal shop, it's always really useful to wash your crystal in spring water if you can, or if not, water that's blessed, and then set your crystal to be at a vibration of 5D or higher. And that way you've sort of set the crystal. But you know, the crystals have their own inherent wisdom within them, and I'm sure many of you have got personal relationships with your crystals, and it's no accident sometimes that these crystals come into our life. You know, if ever you go crystal shopping, don't try to look for the prettiest one or the one that you think, you know, is the shiniest. Just go on how you feel. What does that crystal feel like? Are you attracted to it? Does it feel like the right one for you? Now, in my first book, Enchanted Earth, I write a little bit about when the planet was in its infancy. You can get my books on Amazon, by the way, or audio on gillianengland.com. I talk about when the planet was in its infancy. So when the planet was born, when planet Earth was born, we'd got a very different kind of scenario going on than we have now. And I talk about the creators. So I talk about the mineral masters, you know, the creators of the earth. And dragons and crystals were intrinsically matched at that point, you know, when Earth was in its infancy. And the mineral masters, the creators of the crystals, if you like, they would imbue the crystals, set their intentions. Remember, these creator beings, they would set their intention to the crystals in order to create different properties. And sometimes the dragons would assist by using their fire. So to alchemize the process, the dragons would help create the crystals. And like I say, there were all different properties imbued in all the different crystals, and that's why each crystal now has got different properties. They are gifts from the creator. These keys and codes are definitely creator gifts. So yeah, if you're interested in that, it forms part, it is a little bit I write about in Enchanted Earth. So if I just see it as a real blessing that these crystals are coming out into the, you know, into the consciousness of beings. And there's another story, isn't there? I don't know if you heard this one, that the fall of Atlantis, obviously, well, we know that Atlantis used crystal energy, and, you know, the technology to started using it for bad things, and that was why the demise of Atlantis. But when they obviously the wise ones knew that the end was nigh, if you like. So they encoded some crystal skulls and sent them off all around the world to be hidden and buried, and they would come to light when humanity was ready to accept the knowledge again and the wisdom from the crystals. So when I saw that video of the quartz popping up, to me it just reminded me of this, you know, are we going to see the crystals from Atlantis reappearing? We know a couple have, but it's all held in very high secrets. So yeah, just a little, probably a slightly different take on crystals really. And I just want to, if any of you have ever been to Slovenia, so there's some caves in Slovenia called the Postiana Caves, and you know, I've travelled a bit. I'm not saying I've travelled loads in my life, but I have travelled quite a bit, to be honest. And that's by far the most amazing place I've ever been to, the caves, the Postiana Caves in Slovenia, because they are so charged with wonderful energy and crystals. So I don't know why I felt inspired to say that, but I have. Okay, just a little take on crystals. This is my local walk. Isn't it beautiful? I'm so lucky to have manifested this, and I give gratitude every day. Gratitude's very important. I'm sending you all lots and lots of love. Find me on Telegram, find me on gillianengland.com. Lots of love.